Well, omnichannel is no longer the future of retail. It's no longer an expectation. It's what's necessary to be a retailer today.
I wonder, Rick, if you can kind of talk to us about, we see the frontline associate, again, whether it's the small business owner themselves or the folks that they have working for them, being so critical to creating that amazing customer experience. And, maybe you can talk a little bit about, the ways that either NewStore or just what's necessary to empower those associates to do such a great job in a modern retail context.
I mean, we get most excited, candidly, about this area because the store associates are the brand ambassadors. They're literally the most important brand ambassador you have in a retail organization. And when they're engaged in a sales process and they actually have the opportunity to look at NewStore, we get our highest praise from them. And so we always want them to be a part of our discussion, and we always want to engage with them to see how we can do things better. But what they're looking for when we engage and we talk to them is, the first point I think is just speed. So the NewStore app requires significantly less training than other applications because it runs on something that you use in your personal life every day, your iPhone. So as a result of doing that, it makes it really easy for them. And then that makes them be able to execute functions much faster. And when you can do that, adoption goes up. So things simply like checking out a person or inventory receiving or store fulfillment, they can execute these things much quicker and faster with NewStore. And so they want to engage with it because it's easy. And so we have one customer that reduced their inventory receiving by 60%. I think the other key point when talking to the store associates, and this goes into that speed, is just ease of use. So most people we compete with, modern or legacy enterprise technology, it feels old and it feels dated, but with NewStore, it's much easier to adopt. And then the last piece is just productivity. So these store associates have a lot of demands, especially in an omnichannel world, right? There's BOPIS, there's Boris, there's curbside pickup, there's clienteling, there's a lot going on. And so what we do is allow that to happen much faster. So they can do cycle counting much faster. They can pick, pack, and ship from the store much faster than they could before. They can hold something off on inventory so somebody can come in and get it as a curbside pickup. And that's really important to be able to do quickly as well as efficiently because they embrace it. And so when a consumer comes in, there's nothing more frustrating than buying something online, doing a curbside pickup, and then going through a really difficult process for you as a consumer. And we feel like we make that really easy. So, in summary, I think we get high marks from store associates when they evaluate us around speed, around ease of use, and just purely able to make their lives more productive so they can get back to what's really important, which is spending time with the consumer.
Yeah, that last point is great. And I love, again, like so much of what, again, it's not automation, but like assisting the associate in sort of doing their job better to then allow them to sort of have more of that face-to-face value add interaction, which is so great. And then I love that insight around bringing the associate into the process as well, because I think so much of any implementation kind of falls down if the people that are going to be using it aren't comfortable or engaged, as you said. Rick, I know that part of our discussion today, we wanted to talk through a case study to really kind of bring the NewStore platform to life. And you've recently partnered with an apparel company named Marine Layer to implement your platform into their operations. Maybe you can kind of take us through a little bit about how they're using the NewStore platform, and then if you have any metrics that you can share in terms of how that's been successful for them, that would be fantastic.
Sure, happy to. I think first, for those of you who don't know who Marine Layer is, it's a wonderful brand. I mean, to us, they're an amazing partner. They're known in the market for their extremely soft t-shirts. And then I'm actually wearing one of their sweatshirts, and this is my favorite sort of hooded sweatshirt, and then one of their sports like golf shirts, which I love. And I think why we're passionate about Marine Layer and why we've had joint success First is we share a very similar DNA, and most of our customers do. And what I mean by that is we have a passion about having a really good experience for the consumer. And one of the reasons why they wanted to do this is that they struggled with tying this connection between the digital and the physical, and the need to make that feel seamless, and the need to have a really good brand experience. And we believe, like them and like many of our customers, that we want to have the product purchased where they want and the channel they want with as little friction as possible. So together with Marine Layer, we unlocked most of the functions that are inherent within NewStore that I talked about before. But some examples of that is we unlocked cross-channel inventory flexibility, we unlocked ship from store, endless aisle, and all wrapped around this better in-store experience to become a true omnichannel organization. From the start, as we engaged with their executive team, we knew that omnichannel was such a key part of their future and their business growth. And we aligned around making sure we had a great experience. We aligned around that inventory optimization so they could have full visibility of inventory. And we aligned around making sure that the store associate's job was easier. The other thing that I'm really impressed that I'd love to just say publicly while we're here is that, they had the courage to proceed in a really difficult retail climate. This is sort of an unprecedented environment the retail community just went through. And these guys had the fortitude to sort of step up and invest in omnichannel capabilities in a really dark period. And I think it paid off for them. They're now live across 46 or full US. They have 46 stores in North America that are running on NewStore. And to answer your question about some of the metrics, when you put an application like this, there's tons of metrics and value that you get. And one of the things that we do is we measure and track that, continue to show the retailer the value they're getting. And through that journey, some of the things that we have seen through the last quarter is the first is 5% of all of their sales each week are endless aisle sales. And that's amazing, right? Because that helps drive a higher average order value with the ability to buy products from an inventory location across anywhere real time. It's really true omnichannel. We had 15% of their web orders were shipped from store. And to me, this has significant impact across so many dimensions of their business. But you can help decrease your shipping costs because no longer are you shipping from a centralized DC, you're shipping from retail locations that are closest to the consumer. So you can get that inventory to them faster at a lower cost. And that has so many benefits around markdown management or inventory management. So if you're in a market where a sweatshirt like I have today, it might be not necessary in a warmer climate market, and that inventory is sitting there, they can ship that excess inventory from that store to the consumer in a market where maybe they're selling out of it too quickly. So that gives them ultimate flexibility. And then the other key thing is you get to know your customers better because of the simplicity of the application. They had 84% email capture rate. So that helps because they understand who's purchasing from them, and it helps in the future with things like clienteling.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. And I love that, insight again about the flexibility of inventory and how big a deal that is operationally in the scenario that you presented. And then again, like thinking about that just from a customer experience, showing up at the store and, waiting to receive an item. There's so much that can kind of fall down in these like last mile or last foot kind of interactions.